Episode 14 of Dragon Ball DAIMA is in the books, and let's just say I do think it was an upgrade in terms of quality from the last episode. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it, and then I will give a ranking of 1 out of 10 at the end of the video, and then get into the next episode preview. I will mark this as spoilers for some people that want to avidly avoid spoilers. Once we get to the next episode preview, I will be spoiling something. However, it is a minor spoiler, so just keep that in mind, and I will be giving a warning before we talk about it. So let's just go ahead and jump into this. So this was something I found interesting, and we already knew this previously, but they just went ahead and built on it, that yes, the third demon realm sucks, and they are kind of poor. So even the royal king of the third demon realm is poor. Now, why is he going to the first demon realm? I'm thinking it's because he probably wants to seize power for himself. I do think he's a bit more altruistic and good overall, so I think that there's going to be some sort of crisis of power, like maybe there will be multiple people wanting to be king after Goma is defeated, and they'll have like a small debate about that or something. Or he could just be going there to, like his daughter Pansy says, to just support her and, you know, kind of help her, even though she told him, hey, the people from the outside world are really strong, so tell him it's okay. I get the feeling that he's going to go anyway, so yeah, I do think it was like a small moment, and they're just kind of setting it up that way whenever some more drama happens later, it makes more sense. So Bulma is basically like, you know, I'll help you guys out if you give me some Magilite, and then she'll make some more planes, because Pansy establishes that her dad had to steal a plane because they've only got one plane, and it's kind of busted. And that reminded me of like Dragon Ball Z and Boo's Fury and stuff, whenever there's that other plane that goes off into hell and it's all busted up and stuff. I know that's like filler, and there's some other things in this episode that reminded me of older stuff, and we'll get into it. But yeah, this Magilite, I basically wanted to mention this here because Bulma keeps on mentioning the Magilite. I wonder if that's going to come up again later in the series after they return to Earth and everything goes back to normal. Maybe Magilite will show up again in Dragon Ball Super or something, and that could be what ties DAIMA to Super. That's just that. I think that's probably likely, like some sort of resource. Now, this is the Gendarmerie force, and let's just say Goma was a little disappointed in their behavior once he showed up. So these guys are interesting simply due to the fact that they are basically literally ripoffs of the Ginyu force, obviously called the Gendarmerie force now. They do seem to have a reliance on their weapons. They were shooting up Goma's lair and things like that. I don't know if that was just like something for them to be loud and boisterous, and they're actually gifted fighters. I don't see them being gifted fighters, but given that they are a line of defense for the fortress, maybe they are enemies for characters like Supreme Kai to fight, and Vegeta and Goku can go fight Degasu and Goma at that same time. I'm not entirely sure on that, but that is just, you know, something I'm throwing out there, because these literally could just be characters they're throwing in here as like trash just to be funny, because they are Gendarmerie, you know, so I'm not sure how threatening I should take them. But in terms of appearance and comedy, I really liked them. Again, obviously they're Ginyu Force ripoffs, but I don't know. Like, some people were saying that it kind of takes away from the magic of the Ginyu Force, that you're going to include another squad of characters that are just like them. But, you know, we also had Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 who were very, you know, flashy and superhero-y and stuff, just like Great Saiyaman was. And that didn't make me like the Great Saiyaman character any less. So that's just something I wanted to mention. And like I said, Goma is not impressed, but I went ahead and screenshotted this because he's blushing and everything. Very similar to how Frieza did in the Namek Saga once he saw the Ginyu Force doing their thing. So I just think it's obviously like a callback. I'm not taking it too seriously. It's not like anything crazy. Now, this is interesting because he literally talks about, you know, children, and they're like a little stunned. They're like, children, you want us to fight children? You know, basically, you know, they're nothing compared to them. But I did think it was funny because in the next scene after that, well, you know, they're talking about can children really exist that are that powerful? You know, Goma tells them that they're adults that look like children, but they're still thinking of it as, are children really that powerful? And they're exaggerating. And, you know, they go to look for chocolate, and then like I said, in the next scene that we see them, they are talking to the, obviously the Boo clones. We'll get to that as we go. But, you know, again, this is like a big thing that a lot of people were, I don't know if you want to use the word upset, but they were complaining because, you know, Goku can't get through the shield, and then Neva comes through. He's like, boom, I'm going to take down the shields. And a lot of people are like, oh man, Neva can do everything. Like, he is ancient. I mean, he's the oldest Namekian that we've seen. I would be disappointed if he couldn't do a bunch of crazy, cool, spiritual magic stuff, you know? And so, yeah, we basically find out that he is the one who created the shields. A lot of people were thinking, myself included, it might have been Dr. Arinsu or something, and she was like trying to basically seize power for herself, cutting off the demon realms, and, you know, just focusing on like the first demon realm or whatever. But nah, it's Neva, and he did it because ruffians would come from the third demon realm, basically mess things up. We even had people from the first demon realm basically, you know, probably sucking the life force from them like they were in the third demon realm as well, that we previously saw. So basically the idea was he would put the shields up. It wouldn't erase all of this necessarily, but it would decrease it because it would make it more difficult to travel there. One thing I do want to take note of, though, is that these guys have the third demon eye on their outfits, and they look like they are the Demon King Deborah race. I'm not sure what you would call them exactly, but I just want to note that. And they got the Demon King Deborah belt. We'll get into Demon King Deborah at the end of the video. But yeah, I thought that was interesting there. And like Piccolo says, you truly are legendary. Like, why would you have Neva be like the oldest Namekian and not like be excited when he can do stuff like this? So I do think that there are legitimate criticisms that you can have with the show. Like for example, my last video, I wasn't that positive on the show, but like, in terms of Neva, you know, Dragon Ball is not new to just giving characters cool abilities that seem out of nowhere but make sense. And I think in this case, that's what's going on. People think it seems out of nowhere, but once you think about it, it makes sense. And then, of course, the barrier goes down, so the wind and all that stuff from the second demon realm is passing through. So now you have like a funnel of, you know, oxygen and things like that, or whatever. I don't know I mean, okay, yeah, they literally do say it's air that they can breathe and fly around in. So yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if you could say that the demon realm has oxygen, but they literally do say it is. Anyway, so Degisu says, seems like wind blowing. He's a little startled. Goma really doesn't care. And then this is whenever we get into the scene that I think is interesting. They were talking about, oh no, children, they can't be that strong. And then boom, they are coming across two children, Ku and Du, that are probably more powerful than them. And they were basically a little confused here. The Gendarmerie force are thinking, oh, you think we're cool. Ku and Du are just impressed by how much chocolate they have. One thing I want to say here is that I think the Gendarmerie force in this scene were really funny. And I really liked how they were like trying to do that thing where, oh, you want to be just like us, huh? Yeah, you know, like I don't think they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. I think they're just getting excited by somebody looking up to them, if you know what I'm saying. Like, their egos are being stroked. See, like, eat up so you can be powerful elites like us. So, again, just Ginyu Force vibes all around. But they can't pay for the chocolates, probably because they destroyed Goma's lair with our guns and stuff. And Goma said that he would not pay them, but he would charge them for it. So they ended up not being able to pay for Ku and Du's food. So they went ahead and just got 2 chocolates for them. And then Ku and Du are very polite and they say thanks. Now I want to go back to this scene here and take a moment. I think Degisu is onto something, just like Arinsu is onto something. So while you see Du and Ku eating and having fun and stuff, Arinsu is looking out the window. She knows something's up, and Degisu knows something is up as well. So obviously, as we've known all along, Degisu and Arinsu are a bit more plugged into the demon realm than Goma is. Now, one thing that I've consistently complained about is that Arinsu appears to be at the palace. I've said that previously. She's fighting the Tamagami 1 at the palace, right? And even Goma in a previous episode actually noticed that she was making moves, and she was like, Ariansu. Yeah, and, we have not Boo. I even did it in the last video. We have Do and Ku moving around in the demon realm, going to a shop, and there's just nothing from Goma about this, but Goma is, pulling up Goku and crew on the, the satellite dish or whatever, where you can, see everything that's going on in the demon realm. So I would like to have this explained. This is a bit of an oversight. I don't want to say it's contradictory or anything, but I do think it's a plot hole. This has to be a plot hole. You literally have Arinsu operating from under your nose, and I don't think it's I don't think they're trying to make a statement that Goma is so confident that he just isn't concerned about Arinsu, because he previously noted several things about Arinsu. And, Do and Ku are moving through to and from the castle, going to the shop and everything, running into Gendarmerie. Now, the Gendarmerie force don't know who they are, so I guess you could make the argument that they just think they're just regular citizens of the Demon Realm. But like I said, they're going to have to, walk through here past all of these Gendarmerie. Goma is gonna notice them or something. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I thought it was a little, it takes me out of the experience a little bit, if that makes sense. But anyways, let's move on. Obviously, the ship is going. It's gonna break apart. Bulma can't fly, and then the fat dude. What's his name again? Hibiscus. Yeah, sorry. I always forget his name. Hibis. So Hibis is you want me to carry you? And then Vegeta's what? You can kind of see it. He doesn't really do anything verbally, but he's what? And then Piccolo is obviously getting impatient with Hibis, I am. I do understand Hibis is a joke character, and he's gonna be oh, I have the third demon eye all along, but for now it's just kind of a nothing burger of a character. I can't even enjoy him ironically. He's just kind of there. So yeah, Bulma's I wasn't asking you, I'll have Vegeta carry me. Vegeta, of course, carries Bulma, and he tells Hibis, don't forget the Dragon Balls. Now, I do want to note, this is before Super and after Z, and Vegeta is, a good guy. So I've mentioned that before, but I do like that, he's not putting up a fuss and acting embarrassed or anything. It seems normally when it involves Bulma, he doesn't care about how he looks, which, makes sense. And, Glorio has to have one of the Dragon Balls, I think, just in case. So I think, obviously, what's probably going to happen is Hibis might get captured or something, and he will lose one of the Dragon Balls, maybe to Goma or something like that. So we could have a situation where Goma has one of the Dragon Balls, Glorio has one, and then Arinsu has one. And then, of course, if Glorio has one, then you could say that Arinsu has two. And then, of course, this could go to some of the incompetence of the Gendarmerie, because it takes them a while to notice that the barrier is down. So maybe, the Gendarmerie are just incompetent, and that's part of the joke of why they don't realize Ku and Do are, running around under their noses. I don't know. I mean, that could be it, and they'll probably, touch on it later in the episode or in the show. But, yeah, for now, it's a little silly. Then, of course, this is what I was talking about. They are looking at, panels and stuff of Goku and crew, falling from the barrier, where the barrier used to be, I should say. And, Goma is I told you to shut down Warp, and somehow they got through without Warp. So, obviously, they don't know how the barrier can get taken down if they don't suspect Neva at all. So, very interesting stuff here. I wonder if they even know at this point that Neva is such a strong ally, I guess that's something I'm excited to see more of. Now, before we move on to this, because this is a big thing, before we move on to the next episode preview, I do want to say this episode was a step up from the last episode, but it wasn't that much of a step up, I do think more eventful stuff happened, and I did like the episode. I'll have to give it a 6.5 out of 10. That may seem harsh to some of you, but keep in mind, for me, a 5 is meh. 6 is I liked it, So I did like it, and I almost really liked it. So I would say a 7 is I really liked it. 6.5 might be a little harsh, but like I said, not too much action, and in Dragon Ball you have to have action. Basically no action. Honestly, what I really enjoyed about the episode was the comedy, and then other than that, it was a little bit slow-paced, but I don't think it was too slow-paced to the point that I didn't enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, a 6.5, and of course we got some lore here. I'll say a 7. 6.5 is kind of being petty. I'll say a 7. Alright, so let's get into the spoilers, and like I said, very light spoilers. I know normally some people complain about spoilers and things like that, so I'm marking spoilers now, and now that I'm marking spoilers, people are complaining that the spoilers aren't substantial enough. Guys, what do you want me to do? I mean, I'm marking the spoilers, and then when I want to mark the spoilers, people are like, you know, anyway. Let's talk about the next episode. Again, light spoilers, not major spoilers. This isn't gonna, like, tell you how the show ends or anything. But, you know, some people saw this and like, Deborah's gonna be in the next episode. Well, we had leaks from Geekdom 101, who has a very good track record with the show, and he said that we were gonna get flashbacks to Deborah. And the episode's called Third Eye. We get a key. I don't know what the key is for. But if the episode is called Third Eye, we get a flashback to Deborah. He's looking a little bit younger. Not too much younger, but just a little bit younger. That's what Geekdom said. It would be a flashback to a younger Deborah. So this is probably going to tell the story of how Deborah's dad lost the third demon eye. Maybe Deborah took it and hid it somewhere and then got mind controlled by Bobbity and forgot about it. Who knows? That's just speculation on my part. But the leak is that we are getting a Deborah flashback. So this takes place in the past. So we are going to get some flashbacks, which I really like, all the flashbacks and the lore and stuff that we get in this show. And then the other leak, which Hulu just confirmed as of the recording of this video, is that Dragon Ball DAIMA is 20 episodes. So this was the 14th episode. We got 6 episodes left. It's going to end basically the last week of February. Well, what do you guys think of that? That is interesting. So a lot of people are making a lot of judgments about the show as it is. They're like, oh man, the show wasn't good, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I really I liked most of the episodes for the first 10 episodes. And like, you know, the past 4 episodes, I would say I liked. I think the last episode, there's a break between, and that was the first one where I was not even, like, normally, even on the slow episodes, I liked them. But the last episode, that was the first one where I was like, meh. Like, I don't know. Nothing really happened. You could have just, you know, cut this episode, and, you know, it wouldn't have affected anything. So that's what I would say about the last episode, and then this episode was a big step up, so it looks like next episode is going to be even better. Third Eye, let's get into it. Anyways, guys, that will be it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to keep up to date with all things Dragon Ball news and commentary. And I will see you in the next one. Peace off.